Hi, welcome to TECsperts, where the East Carolinian and Tech TV's finalists come together to preview ECU athletics. This is Tyler Kelbaugh, the football beat writer for the East Carolinian. This is Jesse Dill, the football editor for the East Carolinian. Alright, so this week we're going to bring to you a preview of the homecoming game against Tulsa this week. And then also we're going to talk a little bit about the BYU game, which is very exciting, which happened in Provo. And now, so this week, we actually have a special show for you today because it's just me, me, Tyler, and Jesse this week because Adam and Brian, we've decided to drop the dead weight. No, they're on break. They'll be back next week. All right.
Hopefully not.
Oh, everybody not getting the memo? Okay, sorry. Ooh. But anyway, yeah. So this week, BYU game, another turn of this quarterback battle. James Summers goes out in the first half, and Blake Kemp pulls a Brian Hoyer and just leads them right down the field for a touchdown to end the half. So, guys, quarterbacks opinions. Let's hear them.
I like that Brian Hoyer reference. That was good. I believe that James Summers should still be the quarterback this week. He should get the start. Blake Kemp put up ridiculous numbers. The stats are crazy, but I feel like if you watch the game, the eye test wasn't quite so convincing. He did have a couple of turnovers. He's kind of proven through the first 5 games of the season that he can't, or 6 games of the season, that turnovers are going to be a problem for him. He was on the field for the fourth quarter where BYU's quarterback had gone down with an injury, and their backup quarterback couldn't get the offense moving at all. BYU's defense was therefore just exhausted. They were pretty much on the field the entire fourth quarter. And give him credit, he whipped them, but I think that defense was worn down. That wasn't a true test of Blake Kemp's skill. So I think James Summers is the way to go. The stat that jumps out to me is that ECU has not won any games in which they've attempted over 40 passes. Maybe that's just because they're playing from behind, but I think that it's more of a testament to how effective the run game is for this team. If they run the ball well, they win. So I think Summers is better for running the ball. I think he should be the quarterback.
I agree with you that Summers should be the guy going forward, but you got to consider Kemp put up 370 yards in a game where Summers struggled to get down the field at times. So I think, ECU just has to continue seeing what the defense gives them and use that to decide who to play at quarterback. I know Ruff said in the beginning of the year he wanted a one-quarterback system, and who knows, that may be how it turns out. But for now, I think you just got to put both out there and see how they play out.
Would you switch game by game, or would you keep doing what they're doing now and switch during quarters and kind of?
It's hard to say. I think you just got to go with whoever's got a hot hand.
Right. So, I watched the game in fully, and the one thing I looked at was I don't think James Summers got enough time to really get his rhythm in. Because it was only one half. And, Blake Kemp has had full games for the most part, with the Towson game and, most of the Florida games. So, I think James Summers I think it might have been just a little too hard to expect him just to come in and play a full game and be as electric as he was when he just came in as a relief role. And he was kind of surprised in the Virginia Tech game. And then also he came in as kind of like a jump start for the other game.
Right. Who's to say that that Summers couldn't have had the same second half that Kemp did? We didn't see it. He's a runner. That they wear down the defenses. So I would argue that Summers could have had an equally as effective second half. We just didn't get to see it. As soon as he started struggling, he got the hook. Right.
Pretty much. And it's just I was me and Brian we had a little argument on Twitter. Basically saying Is James Summers my guy or is James Summers Ruff's guy? I think he's got to be Ruff's guy eventually just because what James Summers brings is just electric and, he brings a rushing attack and obviously Chris Harrison runs better, Anthony Scott runs better when, they're dealing with when they have a running quarterback when it's 3 runners and then you still have the option of passing. So, and then let's talk about the defense. The defense really got gashed this week by Connor Mangum. Which he's gonna be a legend by the time in Utah, he's gonna be a legend by the time this season's over. So let's talk a little bit about the defense because they're going up against one of the best offensive in the nation, in the American, this year. So let's talk about what the defense plans to do.
You look at the numbers Dane Evans puts up. You got to be kind of worried about ECU's secondary, which looked gassed and got beat multiple times by Mangum.
Poor Josh Hawkins.
Josh Hawkins.
You know, he's great. You know, great guy. You know, great. You know, he had a great season last year, but it's really just been very bad for him this year. You know,
he's had a hard
it's been
time.
hard. Yeah. So the secondary is really going to struggle. And then how do you think the defense is going to do? Because a lot of times the linebackers. Because a lot of times it looked like there was a lot of missed tackles there as well. There wasn't a lot of great tackling there as well.
Well, I feel like BYU was a little bit of a what's it called? A wild card, I guess, because the altitude up there, so the air is thinner up there, and the defense got tired easier. Their wide receivers are so tall; they're 6 inches taller than some of ECU's corners. It's a huge mismatch, and I think that the defense got tired because of the thin air, and because the ECU's offense didn't get off to a great start, so they were on the field early, and it really only was going to get worse as the game progressed. I think that this week we'll expect a little bounce back. Tulsa's quarterback Dane Evans leads the American in passing yards. But I wouldn't be too worried about. I would look at BYU and say, okay, yeah, the defense isn't going to be able to stop Tulsa this week. I feel like BYU is a little better than Tulsa.
All right.
When you look at ECU's defense, you see a team that, when it's matched up with a good quarterback, it really struggles at times. You know, you could tell at BYU when Mangum was out there, he was lights out, and when he was hurt and they put Hodge in, you know, Hodge wasn't able to do much given his inexperience. But you know, Evans puts up 368 passing yards a game. That's going to be tough.
All right, so now we're about to head on over to impact players. Before we do, I just want to give a big shout out to special teams for this game. The special teams was huge on both sides. You know, 2 block punts, you know, that set up touchdowns and score touchdowns. Great game. Also, big shout out to T. Stan for the forced fumble. You know, I'm glad to see him back on the field. And, all right, so now we're going to get on to impact players. Tyler had a big week last week as he picked the impact player and the score correctly.
Thank you.
So, also...
I didn't really pick the score correctly. I had it way lower than everybody else did, but I did have the 7-point margin correct. So.
Yeah, which is what we go on. We go on point spread. All right, so impact players for this week. Tyler?
I'm going to take James Summers. I think that he gets the start. And I think he makes the most of the opportunity. I actually think that he'll play the whole game for the first time all season. I expect him to come in and rip up a weak Tulsa defense on homecoming and really separate himself as the starter.
I actually think, going to what you said, I think Kemp's actually going to start the game.
Ooh.
That would be interesting. I would feel really uncomfortable picking Summers as my impact player.
But I guess we'll see on game time.
Yeah, so who's your impact player?
I'm taking Bryce Williams. I picked him a few times, and he's usually pretty solid. Last game, he put up 17 yards per catch. He's playing like a grown man, using one of Ruff's terms. He's looking like a future NFL player right now.
Yeah, ESPN loves him. It's like every time you see him on TV, they're like, yeah, this guy, he's got an NFL future. So
yeah, you know, he's got the body, he's got the speed, you know. All right, so now we're going to get down to the scores. All right, Tyler, what is your score going in this game?
It's going to be a high-scoring game. I'm going to take ECU to break 50 points. I'm going to take 56-35 ECU.
Jesse?
I think I'm going to take ECU 38-31. I think it should be a pretty competitive game, pretty good homecoming game. ECU has beat Tulsa the last 5 matchups. I think it'll be number 6.
All right, so this is my time right here. I'm at the bottom of the rankings. I got 1. Jesse has what? What do you have? 2? 2?
2.
Yeah, 2.
I got 4 now.
You got 4 now.
Yeah,
big week.
We're
you know,
back
you
in
go up to the top of the leaderboard. You know, Brian and Adam both have 3. You know, they don't get a chance to make their predictions.
They didn't mail in their predictions.
Yeah, they didn't get a chance. I get to make my way right onto the top right here. So I'm gonna go. This is a tough one because ECU and Tulsa, you know, they've had kind of a split matchup. So I'm gonna go with the ECU home team, you know, just because they're finally back at home. They're gonna be hurt after taking that terrible loss to, well, not terrible, but you know, just a heartbreaking loss to BYU. So I'm gonna go with ECU. I'm gonna go higher than you. I'm gonna go just a little bit higher. I'm gonna pull the prices right here.
Wow.
63-35.
Okay.
63-35 ECU. And let me see. I'm gonna go with Isaiah. I'm gonna take Isaiah from you. So I'm gonna take Isaiah.
That's my guy. I always take Isaiah.
Yeah, you always take Isaiah.
He's dependable.
Yeah, he's dependable. You know, his dad's an NFL star. You know, he's dependable. He's destined for star.
He's gonna get some catches for sure.
Yeah. So I'm pretty safe right here. So I'm gonna go.
TECsperts doesn't encourage fancy picks. Anthony Scott was Jesse's pick last week. Got 0 touches as backup running back.
And it was bold. It was bold.
It was bold.
It was bold. We encourage boldness.
That could have been his breakout game.
Hey,
I said it for the show.
you're one play away. All right, so 63. What did I say? 63 to 35. 63 to 35. I was thinking we had 4 touchdowns. Thank you for joining us this week on a special episode of TECsperts where we drop the dead weight. And join us again next week on the EastCarolinian.com.